All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. Crazy day today and a lot of discussion going on in the Discord, but we're going to talk about GameStop and AMC today. So, a couple people called it. There was actually, her name was Susan something. I forgot the full name, but yesterday or maybe even on Saturday, she called out Roaring Kitty. It also came up yesterday on the Discord. You could see this morning talking about it in pre-market. AMC was another one. I mean, I was talking about AMC a lot actually. I mean, it was an interesting day, right? So I'm gonna do my best to give technical thoughts about tomorrow. I just really gotta this is some silly trading, right? And it becomes a little bit hard to keep the bull in the pen, right? And look, as I'm saying the words, I'm starting to see after hours creeping up. It's I always say I try to ignore after hours. It is something that I mean with this as well, right? But again, there's a craziness with these, right? But excited to talk about these and actually really excited to hear what the user comments are right here. I'm so looking forward to your thoughts as well, all right? But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we gonna do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I am so grateful. Ooh, excuse me, a little hiccup. I'm so grateful for it, all right? So, let's talk about the non-technicals before I get into the actual technicals that we're looking at, right? So again, I quickly started the video with it. A lot of this has to do with Roaring Kitty, okay? So 2 comments really quickly. Number one, look, if you watch my videos, you've heard my cats interrupt multiple videos, right? So I do love a person named Roaring Kitty. That's a good username in my book. You know what I mean? That said, look, I always say it. I said it to Susan in the comments, right? I never let someone else buying dictate what I do. Whether it's Roaring Kitty, whether it's, Kramer, whether it's Kathy, whoever it might be, right? CEOs, CFOs, any of them, okay? That said, look, this Roaring Kitty thing did a lot today. And I mean, when you're looking at a 74% day, when you're looking at a crazy spike in volume that when I zoom out kind of mirrors the last real silliness that this thing saw, right? So I mean there's so much that's going on in my head right now, and I mean, Roaring Kitty did a lot, but as I get into the technicals, I'll say it, look, this thing was testing breaking all the moving averages. It got over, couldn't really confirm well, but I mean the 8 move golden cross after gold, like there's a lot of good technicals that brought it. Volume just took it to the next level, right? So Roaring Kitty, I mean, look, I've always said it, I don't care what brings the volume, right? Whatever brings it, brings it. This is why volume is king, why volume is queen for the ladies out there, right? Like, good things happen on normal situations. Volume takes it to the and the same is for bad. When horrible things happen and volume just loads and loads, oh, the horrible just gets uglier and uglier, right? So yeah, I think that's such like a general comment right there. Okay, so I kind of mentioned the technicals already, but look, I'm kind of trying to ignore this up here for now, right? This was trying to break all the moving averages, right? There was a support that, I mean, it was a resistance, I guess you can say, right? But just looking at that 10 line, right? That was a very big moment because it was basically 50% of this one giant candle. Oh, no, sorry, I'm not looking there. It was this one. It was the bottom of a couple of them. This was a big line because if we lost it, it was going to be a quick drop down to that, right? So this was actually a support. From there, look, there was some nice spacing between the 20 and the 50 that ends up hitting. I think this was an earnings, if I'm not mistaken, and I thought we talked about it. Game earnings, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, boom, 326. Was that this one? No, not really, actually. Oh, I don't remember what this thing was. Nonetheless, there was a big break of multiple candles, or multiple moving averages, right? More specifically, the 100 and the 200, right? So we destroy those, we get over that resistance, but we just can't quite confirm, can't quite confirm. One good candle, can't confirm. I mean, that's pretty big right there, right? So the big thing is we still haven't confirmed. That Friday candle was a doji. Doji plus the next one never counts, right? Or good and a doji after never counts. So we need to confirm today, okay? We very, very much need to. I'm going to zoom out because I don't think I had any lines above that. I didn't. Where are we to this? Okay, where are we to that? Ooh, that's kind of what we wicked, but we're still down here. I think that's still a little too high. Where are we to that? Nope, still too high. Where are we to that? Okay, I think we're getting there. All right. I think it's that. That's my line. I think I need this thing to basically get into 33 if we can round it. I'm good with that. I think when I was last clicking, it was a little closer to 32.90. Look, but you can see that line actually lines up really well to the bottom of that. There's a good thickness into that. I like that line. Okay, so listen, there are so many different ways you can play this thing. There is no such thing as safe. Believe me when I say that, right? But if this thing can break 32.55 and you're not in game, that could be an interesting line to consider an entry. Because if that breaks, the next basic place I would be looking for, I mean, really, I think it's that. I think we would go from 32 to 45, and that's a great percentage. Maybe this 38 will slow things down, but even if it gets to 38, that's still a little more than 10% if I'm doing my math. It's actually a little closer to 20% because you're adding almost $6 to that, right? So maybe a 15% move if that first one breaks, but I don't think that line's good enough to draw anything in between, right? So this could be an interesting channel to play if you're not in game and you want to be, okay? Now, I can very much see this. Ooh, that's a little low. 25 might be a little low. What are you at? Okay, I can see this coming to 29. I think 29 looks like it kind of lines up to the top of that as well. That's 28.80 right there. I can see 28.80 to 29, and that, I mean, is almost 50% candle, actually a little lower, almost 28.50 is that. So I would use those as my low numbers. I would use 29, 28.80, and 28.50 if I was to guess the bottom side. I would be very scared if we lost 26.60, because from there, I believe that's where I clicked earlier. I think it could be a very quick drop to this like 25 or 24 range even, right? So the last thing I want to do is give up the whole candle. I for sure don't want to give up more than 50%, right? That's why you can almost argue that 28.40 is a good death line right there, right? But I would love to get in over this 32.55. You can easily argue making 30.75 an entry point as well. If you can get me over this candle, it's worth believing. I think getting over this resistance might be the better move, okay? Look, a 91 RSI is very high, okay? An 80 RSI is very high, let alone an 83, 85, 88. We're in the 90s, okay? There is obviously a crazy divergence on the MACD, a rather nice divergence despite the 90 number on the RSI, right? But to me, the biggest thing that's going to matter is volume. I said this earlier. I know I did. Volume. Tomorrow's volume will matter more than the indicators. I don't know which one I was talking about when I said this, but I promise you that is a fact. Volume needs to be it, all right? So I'm going to bring out the trusty calculator. Let's bring this thing out. Look, we hit 160 million shares traded, okay? I think the lowest minimum I'm willing to accept is something that looks like that. Let's call that 120 million, all right? So if I'm looking for 120 million shares in a 7-hour trading day, I need about 17 in that first hour. I would love to get a little closer to 40 in the second hour if I could, but clearly we need to be around that 35 million shares by that second hour, right? I need volume to hold because, again, we haven't confirmed the break of the moving averages, but volume is king and volume is queen, right? Like, volume fixes everything. So that's definitely what I'm going to be looking for, I think, first and foremost. From there, it'll probably be where are we with the resistances and the candles, all right? Let's take a look at the weekly. What's the weekly telling us? Look at that, right? The weekly is over all the moving averages so far. Daily is over all the moving averages so far. Weekly is still actually looking really nice. Now, the funny thing is, today is only Monday. Today's volume is already one really big weekly candle, right? So volume is clearly going to be there this week, right? Like, today alone was more volume than the entire last 3 weeks, right? So big week ahead of it. RSI is close to that 80 number. Again, I said it earlier, 80 is a high number, right, on the RSI, but that's a nice positive MACD. They both have that divergence. It's one of those things where, look, if the volume stays, and again, we've seen what happens with it. If the volume stays, oh man, I mean, it's a silliness, right? And look, this 4-to-1 was a split. This was not a reverse split, right? This wasn't a 1 for 4. This was a 4 for 1. And this 32.55 line is on the forward split line. So to me, this is a really important line right here, all right? If we can actually get over that thing, oh man, we're going to start talking about testing all-time highs, right? So, yeah, goodness. Watch the volume. Watch the first 2 hours and make sure the volume is there. From there, let's see what it looks like to the candles and what it looks like to the resistances, right? I started the video by saying post-market was going up. Clearly, post-market's going down a little bit. Listen, this stock went up 70+% today. This is an insignificant down so far, right? So I think as long as we're over that 29, which was the first of the no numbers, I think it's all gravy. I think from there, like I said, regular hours always matter more, okay? So I think that's kind of everything here. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything. Listen, I am not talking about this 45 line much, right? This is definitely the highest of the highest targets I have. Right now, I still don't know if this 32.55 is going to break, right? So keep your expectations realistic, even with these silly meme stocks, all right? So please let me know your thoughts. Please let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into AMC. Oh man, AMC is still chugging. Look at that thing. Post-market's going up right now. I will be honest with you. I personally am really disappointed. I used to have TD Ameritrade. We moved over to Schwab. I got really lazy to like set up my login. It froze on me this morning, and man, I saw AMC at the break of the 50. I really did, and I'm like mad at myself for what I threw away today. Okay, so that's my personal rant. I thank you for letting me complain to all of you. But let's get into what you care about. My thoughts for tomorrow, right? So really quickly, if you can please subscribe and please share. Oh man, it does wonders with these algorithms. So despite the after hours move that I was just talking about, right? First and foremost, I care way more about regular hours, okay? There is such an amazing channel between the 100 and the 200, right? A channel is nothing more than the spacing between two lines. And I love it when the spacing is that big, okay? Earlier on the Discord, I talked a lot about AMC and I talked about 560. Nope. Let's just look up 560. Okay. So The first comment was, hey, AMC might go to 8 because there's a Shrek 5 launch. I'll be honest, I'm probably going to watch Shrek 5 with my wife. I like the Shrek movies. I really do, all right? 560 was my first target. I thought that as early as 9 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock on the Eastern time, right? When we look at the 5-minute chart, or sorry, the 15-minute chart, we didn't get to that 560 or a little bit past it until 3 p.m., right? So it was way, way after that 12 o'clock calling. And you can't really see it on this setup, right? Because I'm honest with you all, right? When I move my personal money, I'm using a different stack. I am using a combination of the 1 and the 2. We're looking at chart readers here, and believe me, chart readers is a good, simple, but deadly stack, right? In my other stacks, the 560 number made a lot of sense to me. It was really easy for me to call that 560 number. I use the word easy very, very loosely because nothing is easy, nothing's guaranteed. Bad things often happen when I think that they're going to be good, right? So believe me, I'm not trying to blah, blah, blah. Right now, we are at an interesting place because just look at this chart, right? The last time we were over the 100 moving average on a good green candle was right here, was in August of last year. We're coming up on almost a full year. We'll probably call it 9 months, right? Probably at least 3/4 of a year where we were never even remotely close to the line, right? You can even say the exact same thing for the 50 moving average, right? There was this one little outlier right here. I don't think any of those are good. There were nothing. This August 23 was the last good green candle over the 50 and the 100 before today. And that to me says two things, right? Number one, my goodness, that's a monster break on a monster move, okay? The second thing is, hey, look, this could easily be a fake out. This could easily come down back to 430, okay? However, look at where we're at, right? Let me draw some lines real quick. We're over this, and we're probably going to come to that. And in between these two lines, all I see is nothing. Look at this, just nothing. Red. It could actually be a very, very quick green, all the way up to 688. Okay, so that's kind of the risk reward that I'm looking for right now. I can easily see this coming to 688. All right. Otherwise, I could see this coming back down, like I said, to 420, all right? If I'm not mistaken, I also mentioned the 680 number. Give me a sec. Nope, I thought so. Whatever. AMC, let me give a couple more flashes that I thought. Sorry. Might be shooting for 420. We talked about the run to 420 the hour before that 560 call out. Like I said, AMC, I was really angry because I should have bought it. Hopefully others made some good moves on my miss right there, right? But one more time, I said, listen, I haven't even talked about it yet. Look at this volume candle. I'm going to go to the weekly real quick. This single Monday day was bigger than any of these full weeks. In 5 full days, no one could beat this single day. The closest one to it in 5 days, we got 327 million. On this single day, we got 100 million more shares. Today was a crazy volume day, okay? The last thing I want to see is a pump and dump, okay? I need, at the very minimum, 375 million shares, okay? Let's bring out the calculator. If I need 375 million shares in a 7-hour day, we're looking for 53 million in the first hour and a little bit more than 100 million in that second hour, all right? I need to be close to 110 million shares by that second hour. Otherwise, I gotta think pump and dump, okay? Listen, I still see this thing going up after hours. I do, right? Post market, it's still going up a little bit. It really is between those lines, I think. I don't know how strong this 480 is going to be, but I do want to give it a little bit of credit, right? So let me actually like lower it just to look a little prettier. I think that's a little closer to those two candles. I think if we lose 480, I would be concerned of a drop to 420. I would be horribly scared if this lost 420. However, if this thing continues up, it's going to keep going there. I don't think it's worth drawing a line, but I would basically say if this thing gets over 530 in the open, it's very much a consideration for that 688 target. All right, so obviously MACD and RSI both look good. Look, this RSI is actually only in the 70s. Right? This thing's not like game that's pushing 90 plus. This thing is actually only in the 70s, and that's really why, again, I'm gonna just rant one more time. This thing was still down here when game was gone. The RSI looked really healthy and stuff, and that's why it really, to me, looked like there was more here. And I'm so, my wife can tell how like frustrated I am, and I'm playing with Legos over here to like calm myself. But hey, I hope you bank today. Watch the volume tomorrow. This to me, it's 50-50 up or down, but if volume comes, oh yeah, this thing's going to continue for sure, both of them. All right, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, I appreciate you so much.